As I sit here with 7 different forms of eye aids after 6 months of veganism and my forehead rash made of Satan's underpants, I realize that life's okay. I don't mind it. There are rainbows with greener grass on the other side. I realize that. My health seemed a lot better when I was carnivore, but there are several reasons I would never.
I am a vegan. You are a loser.
There's many obvious reasons not to eat a carnivore diet: potential heart disease and strokes, the ethical dilemma. My reasons are different and strange. It's the cold that you will inevitably get. I just fear for your life. Eventually it's going to happen to you like it did to me. You're on the carnivore diet, things are great, you're building muscle, you have newfound energy, no bloating and gas. You're like, wow, this is the best. Clear skin, yes. And then eventually you're going to get sick, you're going to get the cold, and it's going to be harsh, and your throat's going to burn, and it's going to last. I've seen it over and over on other carnivores, and I experienced it myself. I used to get sick like once a year, if not twice or thrice, and it always sucked. And then I went vegan, and all of a sudden I got sick, but it was so mild. I was like, yes, is this my new life? It is, it can be. And then I went carnivore for a year, 11 months, and I got a cold, and I was like, oh my God, it's like worse than it ever was in the past. It was so harsh, that soft palate burning. Every time I swallowed, I was like, ah. And it lasted like 2 days. Usually that's a 1-day thing, and it's mild. It was harsh and 2 days. Like, that told me everything I needed to know. I'm sicker than I used to be. And when like a cold is purging the body of toxins and gunk, and when you're carnivore and it hurts that much when you get sick, you're gunked up. So that's my first reason. I'm afraid of colds, and no thank you. The second reason, here's my carnivore challenge to you. Show me one carnivore, if there is, bless you, I hope there is. Show me a carnivore with creatinine levels below 0.7. That's a modest ask. That's not even Dr. Moore's hippie levels of 0.5, 0.6 fruitarian levels. We're just asking for some kidney function. Do you have it? I want to see it. Show me the blood test. Every time I see a carnivore doing a blood test result, oh, revealed. It's like bad news, like over 1. Like you're dead at 0.8. I know mainstreams, oh, it's normal. 1 is fine. Look, the population's eating Pizza Hut. I ain't worried about the population normal. I'm looking at like, what's healing numbers? So creatinine below 0.7 and an EGFR reading above like 110, 120. I was just looking up, couldn't believe my eyes. It said normal readings are above 60. That's like dialysis. You need dialysis at that point. EGF, the higher the better. When I was carnivore, it was 82 and I was suffering. It was death. That's death numbers. And then I went medical medium, it shot up right to 112. I was like, okay, kidney function back to normal. Low protein is the key. How are you going to do that on the carnivore diet? It's all grease and lard. Most carnivores will eventually realize that, and so they lower the protein, and then what are you left with on a carnivore diet? It's all grease. You're devising ways to get grease into your body, and it's so unnatural because you'd never find an animal that fat in nature. I kill 1 cow a year. Where's all the fat from, though? Well, and 7 lambs for the fat. The kidney fat, I prefer the kidney fat. Sorry about that. It's like when I used to eat chickens, I prefer the thigh. That's the fattiest part. Or the wing. What if you prefer wings? It's like, oh, I can eat about 40 wings. That's 40 chickens. I mean, 20. They do have 2 wings. I know anatomy. I know when Adam invented the chicken. I was there in spirit. According to my children's illustrated Bible, apparently Adam didn't invent the chicken. He just named the chicken. Why'd he pick that name, I wonder? Chicken. I could have done better. Why not name it like Frigger? A frigger. Well, look at the frigger, another one. So those are my two main reasons for not going carnivore. Getting a cold that's super harsh and devastating, and also I worry about kidney function. There's many other worries. Heart disease, ethical nightmares, the nightmares, violence in my mind, the anger. There's a lot that goes into it. So I'm not returning. I'm not even looking at it as an option. Like, I'm seeing if I can make this vegan crap work for my eyeballs. It's not working at all. So I'm working with professionals right now. It's a nightmare, but we're pushing through this train. I gave up on veganism once and never again. Also, it just seems like a dark addiction, like a drug addict lusting for blood. That's what I see carnivores as now. It's like this Satan worshipping cult of just like they're in a forest and they find a deer and headlights come and they all look up and they hiss at the car and they're just like drinking blood and eating part of the organs, and that's not my life. I much prefer just wandering in a watermelon patch. I feel if we are to advance society into like a caring group where it's not just a couple corporations controlling all the world and poisoning you to make money off your sick body, we're gonna have to advance to a vegan stage, fruitarian in its origins. Not so much the Beyond Meat. We injected cow DNA, but it's vegan because we invented it synthetically with science. No thanks. Just like veganism is the cure for life, even though there are terrible vegans out there, like seriously murderous vegans. Don't act like there aren't. But in general, vegans are friendly, some of them. So one day my eye aids will vanish into the night and my forehead rash will dissipate and I will start thriving as a vegan and spreading the message. You won't be able to contain your enthusiasm for joining me. It's gonna be so fun. Can't wait for that to happen. How you doing? You thumbing up the video? That's nice of you. There are some of you who choose your path of thumbing down the video, and the reason I think you're doing it today is because you once gave a cup of soup to a whale. Whales can't cook. They never would. You can't cook underwater. I'm sure it's been done. I've done it on a camping trip in the Mississippi River once, but I was ahead of my time back then. We had a whole dome thing that contained the heat and the smoke. It's impossible. It could be done. Have you invented underwater cooking? There are links down below. Affiliate links. I'm gonna go. How you doing? Subscribe for more videos,